everyone, and welcome back to the Rugby Treehouse. I am Julia. I've got my pals Hattie and Sean here. It is Rugby World Cup 2025. Finally, we are so happy to be with you. Thank you for joining us. We're going to be doing recaps every week, and as well as a preview later on. We're going to break it down so that it isn't all one big pod for you. What we're going to start with the recaps, the way we're going to make this work is we're just going to be doing a kind of brief overview of every match so that we don't miss any. We're not really going to go into depth about a lot of them, just the ones that were either the most interesting or exciting or the ones that we feel have the most to talk about. Otherwise, we would absolutely love to have conversations with you on socials, in the comments, anything if you have questions or comments. But otherwise, we want to make sure that we're touching a little bit of everything. And with that, always, I'm going to kick it at Hattie.
Woo. Okie dokie. So, if we start off with probably the biggest match of the weekend, the one that was most talked about, it's the opening match, which was England versus the USA. So, it ended up being 69-7 up in Sunderland. What were your guys' thoughts on that game, if you had any?
Well, to me, it was kind of what we were expecting.
Yeah.
England very much sort of a usual day in the office for England, I think.
Yeah. I'm a little bit surprised by the score in that I thought that it would be a little bit closer. That was what we were expecting. I'm gonna be frank with it. There were a few really disappointing things that I do need to touch on really quickly about USA. The first thing that we all noticed, and it's so much so that it was even in our notes, the scrum didn't work. The scrum doesn't work. It felt to me as time went on that perhaps this was a fuck it, let's see side. We thought it was weird enough that the back line was shuffled in the way that it was in the back three. We thought that was a little weird, but overwhelmingly the scrum was, in my opinion, probably the biggest culprit. We saw that there was some shuffling around. When you have the talent of Talia Brody and then you already have Rachel Johnson and Kate Zachary, you have to find places to put everybody. We put Talia in the second row. I think that we lost it was a lot of what we talked about in the preview. I feel like we lost what she brings when you bind her up and she can't quick release.
Again, it reminds me a little bit of Wales with the whole back row. Like, we have so many good back rows and it's trying to fit all of them in the team, and then we sacrifice having a specialist second row.
Exactly. No, you're absolutely. And honestly, I think through this cup, actually, it's going to be a good example that we would be able to talk about moreover of in the women's game. We talk all the time about kicking in the women's game. I would love to have this conversation about second rows in the women's game, because it is a position I feel like is constantly overlooked. Several teams don't even have two. Wales is one of them. USA is one of them. Or they have them and they're in and out.
Yeah,
we have Ali Tofo.
I was going to say, the USA actually has, along with Canada and South Africa, you guys have the height, you have the size.
Yes.
But for some reason, they just don't get picked, or they're in and out the squad, and it's this preference to have a back rower into the second row.
Perpetual injuries is another thing, and I was thinking about it when I was thinking of Sophie de Goody or Emma Taylor in Canada, both Canadian. But Hele, I'm not sure why wouldn't you start for this one, especially with her experience playing with the English anyway. But okay, those were my observations. Of course, obviously, we would be remiss if we didn't mention the Red Roses had a pretty good game. Looks like they stuck to their script. I'm curious if anything interested you guys.
I was surprised. I thought they were going to throw the ball out a bit more. I wasn't expecting that many sort of their pushover tries. You know what I mean? Sort of the close to the try line, kind of pushover kind of thing. I thought they would spin it out wide a bit more. I thought, they'd get Dow out and Meg Jones would be scoring loads, and yeah.
I'm thrilled it wasn't all tries. They said that they would finally get away from it, and they did.
Yeah, I think that the strange thing is that, at least for me, is that if I had a team and they were going up against the USA backline is so disorganized at the moment.
Yeah, exactly.
You could easily put on and you've got the back three talent and even the centre partnership talent that England have got, surely you would attack that. But instead, they went for the USA's kind of better side of their
Yeah.
team, and they attacked the forwards, which was just bizarre
Yeah.
to me.
I
Honestly,
totally agree.
I was wondering if it was just the people that the PWR play. I mean, all of the English players are PWR players, but I'm wondering if they were going like, I'm just going to go for the enemies I know.
Could well be.
And I think that one of the biggest mistakes for that USA team, we love Hope Rogers on this pod. I have said many times on social media that Hope Rogers terrifies me. She's the one person I would not ever, ever, ever want to play a game of rugby against. She scares me. However, she was found out very, very quickly in the scrum. And whilst it is lovely to have a mobile prop, whilst it is lovely to have somebody like Hope Rogers on your side in open play, if your prop is not able to do their job and they have been found out, they need to come off the pitch. And she was kept, and she was kept on that pitch way too long.
I think it's a really interesting point, actually, because it is the same for other positions that I guess I would call less versatile, just insofar as they have very special roles. And like prop is one that's so easy to highlight because you saw it here. When your notes have been read, it's over.
Yeah,
and it was.
England do have the best props as well, don't they?
Yeah, also.
Like as good as Hope is.
By the way, all props that she is used to propping against every week.
True. Yeah.
Like they know her inside and out. They have played against her week in, week out. They know, and she probably would have been one of the Red Rose's main kind of targets. I think I wouldn't be. Yeah, like I wouldn't be surprised if kind of Red Rose's coaches were thinking, right, if we go after her in the scrum, they're going to have to take her off and then she won't be a danger in open play. However, they kept her on, which just meant that the USA scrum was at 40%, which is horrendous.
I do think though the try that USA scored, I know it was like 69.
I mean,
but that try was just
a banger still. And you know what, for only having scored one, it is already, I mean, I'm not going to give away anything that goes at the end of the episode, but like it is a contender for try.
Yeah, like Erica Jarrell-Cersei was hands down the USA's best player. Like nobody came
Had they
close.
won, she would have been player of the match. Yeah, for sure.
But to be fair, she maybe could have deserved player of the match even without winning. Like she did a lot.
I completely agree, but could you imagine what the English would say?
Oh, it would have been a meltdown. It would have been an absolute meltdown.
They would have chased her out of the country.
Yeah. She's got an English wife now. I don't think they can do that.
See, this is what, and then the signal cuts out right before I talk about English politics.
One other downside I thought for the USA was Alev's yellow card. It was not good. I love her to pieces, but I think sometimes it's like
it's frustration.
She's trying too hard. Yeah, it's like a frustration thing.
Gonna go with it. I want to keep defending her forever. This is not the first card we've had like recently.
Yeah, exactly.
But I wouldn't even say that like previously it's been an issue for her. It seems to have been within the last year
what I mean.
Or so. And it's really annoying because it's not really part of her game. You can tell she's getting frustrated, and that's why she's doing it. And I think as well, especially after the red card that she got against Australia, people were kind of saying that she was a dirty player. And even in the match build-up, I want to say it was Maggie. It might have been Maggie, it might have been somebody else, had said like she got that red card. She is that kind of player. Like they were highlighting it before the game.
Oh, come on.
And then because she got it in the first half, didn't she? And then it came up again.
It's really interesting though.
Time.
Well, I never heard Maggie talk about
Marley Packer
when she was playing. Okay, I was gonna say Marley Packer, or when she was in the squad, Poppy Cleo. That's weird. I never heard that line. It's so.
Yeah, I think
I don't. So I think unfortunately,
I think it's a little English talking.
When you have that.
Sorry, Maggie.
I think one of the really difficult things about it happens in rugby, it happens in basketball, it happens in hockey, it happens in like any sport. The media can create a narrative based off a very small piece of information, and especially in women's rugby where it's not that talked about in the media, it is so much easier to create these narratives, and it's so much easier also to cover them up. So you don't necessarily hear about it with players in the English side who are known for getting cards if you're kind of interested in women's rugby. There's somebody like Alec Kelter who up until this year has not had an issue with it, and it's clearly
Never.
frustration based.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I mean, if we had more time for each match, we could dive a little bit into what might be causing that frustration. I think there is general disorder in the back line, and I don't think that they're helped by constantly shuffling.
Agreed.
I think the
Agreed.
center partnership in general is wrong. I'm not saying one or the other. I think that that's not the partnership you need. I think more clarity needs to be given in terms of coaching. But overall,
even though people point out they play with each other in sevens, it just isn't
that's
working.
I mean, but
We
also
know it's a different
sevens
game.
It's a different
backline
game.
play is nothing like this.
And they're also not playing next to each other.
I was gonna say they
Yeah.
don't play that way in sevens either.
Yeah.
They both have completely different roles. It's part of the problem for one of them, but you need to play well together. This is something
It's just not
doesn't exist
working.
in sevens. You can't, I'm not blaming either of the players so much as just what they're used to or not. But
The logic isn't
not being able to
logicking.
play right, and not being able to play through frustration is unfortunately a personal problem. Like, if you can't put it aside, I was frustrated too. I'm frustrated by a lot of what I think is frustrating Alev. I think I know what it is. But
I hear you, Julia.
you have to put it away.
Yeah, I know.
And with that,
Yeah.
we're going to move on to the North American superior team. Sorry, Julia.
By a bit.
By a fair amount. Canada versus Fiji.
By I was gonna say one player scoring almost as many tries as the Red Roses.
Almost equaling Portia Woodman-Whitcliffe's record.
Yeah.
Insane.
Yeah. So Canada versus Fiji up in York, that ended up being 65-7. I have to admit, I did not catch the match because I was on the train. So I watched it earlier on today, although I did catch certain glimpses of it when I walked. There was a shop on my train and I was like, oh, I'm desperate for a drink. So I was like, got up, started walking through the train to go get a drink, ran into Will Owen from Squid Rugby.
Friend of the pod.
And
Friend of the pod.
Love
and
it.
we ended up watching like 20 minutes of the game on his phone.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That's rugby. That's rugby
Beautiful.
story. Yeah, that's
Rugby.
extremely. That's you know what that is, and Will would love it too. That's rugby values.
That is
That's crossover rugby values.
That's crossover rugby values, Sir Bill.
Yeah.
Sir Bill. That's rugby values.
Yeah.
The game itself also not bad.
No. So the funny thing was, the reason why I brought that up is that I spent most of the weekend hearing about this game and hearing about Julia Schell's 6 tries, which if you're listening to this podcast, you have definitely heard about Julia Schell's 6 tries because it's been bloody everywhere. And I was like, oh, I can't wait to watch her 6 tries. And I knew that she'd scored one hat trick very quickly and then the other one very quickly. What I didn't know is that all 6 tries came in the second half.
Yes.
Oh yes, it was all in one half.
It's wild.
Yep.
I know.
Yeah. She was like, the first half was, she was like, I read the notes from the media. No, never mind. I'm botching that joke already. She read something and was like, I'm going to make it exciting. Never.
Yeah. She was like, oh, everyone's going to be talking about Sophie de Goody converting her own try. Hold my beer.
No, and in fact, I'm glad you brought that up actually, because kicking is something we need to discuss.
It is. So Canada's kicking was a bit of a concern.
Yeah,
Which we're not used to saying.
No,
because
especially if you're newer to this team.
They've got, if we have to exclude Emma Taylor, which we unfortunately do because she wasn't in the squad, they've got at least 4 proven goal kickers.
3 of
Shell's
which,
a good kicker.
Shell is a good kicker. Tessier
She
is a
missed
good
hers.
kicker. Sophie,
I know,
but Sophie de Goody is a
Normally.
good kicker.
And I
Who's the
clearly
fourth
had
one?
somebody else in my head that I've botched.
Can Tyson kick? Probably not.
Apps? Is Apps who I was thinking of?
Possibly.
I've never seen
I
her
can't
kick,
remember.
but I believe it.
Yeah. Anyway, they can all kick is our point. And it'd be absolutely fine.
Not on the weekend.
No. So they pretty much all had a go. and
But
It was
Five-
just
five for-
everyone gets a medal day. They were just all going to have a go.
Participation trophy day at the World Cup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just have a go with a conversion.
Yeah, so Sophie de Goody got 4 of her conversions. Julia Shell tried one, missed it, and then it went to Alex Tessier, who got 1. So they only ended up with 5 conversions out of 12. So you're missing 14 points. So that game could have been 79-7.
Yeah.
Which is a different score. Like 65-7 is obviously massive, but 79-7 is big.
That's an England or New Zealand point difference.
Yeah.
Which you want to be seeing right now.
Yeah. So it was a bit odd.
In general, though, Canada do look really good. I know it's hard in these matches, particularly when you've got a massive difference in the teams.
In the style as well.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't know, it's just the way that they handle the ball, the way they move the ball out. They just look really good.
The most interesting statistic of the whole game to me, when you think of Fijian rugby, you think offloads.
Yes.
You think free flowing. Somehow, Canada got 19 offloads and Fiji had 7. And the really stats on like possession, stats on tackles, successful turnovers were all pretty even.
They were pretty what you expected.
I really love Fiji's try, though. I did love that try.
That was also
honestly that. Exactly, it just hit a real sweet spot.
And I also thought it was quite funny because obviously it's a Johan Cunningham team.
I know.
And it was his replacement 9 that came on and scored, which I thought was quite funny.
I know. Lamani,
I hate to say it.
Lamani.
Yeah.
It was. I don't hate to say it. I don't have any animosity towards the guy, but it brings to mind. I'm letting a lot of it go. It brings to mind our buddy who you guys know the name of, and I don't because I don't care about men's rugby. If you're also a Wall Street Journal listener, yes, I do. Oh no, forget where I was going with that. Never mind. Okay. It might be like the Italian coach. Sorry, who maybe he was just coaching the wrong team.
Oh,
it happens.
Zebra guy.
Zebra guy.
Zebra man. Sorry, Zebra man.
No, personally,
maybe the vitamin D is helping him.
Maybe. I do think it was a strange choice of coach. I will never get.
I think it was a guy. I think it was a guy who was available and
it was a man who was available, relatively cheap. I'm assuming, because we know that the WIU probably wasn't paying him that well.
Right.
But yeah, the only I think major thing that was kind of noticeable was the set piece. Fiji just got devoured in every aspect, and I think that if you are looking across most of these matchups between the big teams and kind of the minnows, I hate calling them minnows, but you know the smaller teams, the set piece is probably going to be one of the major differences we're going to see across the tournament, just because they've not had the time together. They've not had, they don't have the professional contracts that the other teams have. They don't.
That was what I was going to ask. Do you feel coaching skill or preparation? Okay.
I think it's preparation, coaching, etc. I think you can improve. Yeah, like you can improve set piece if you've got time and you've got the right coaches. Obviously, you get some people that are just like have a knack for how to run a line out. You get some people who just have a knack for scrum, but a lot of it just can be taught. And I think, it's just unfortunate.
It could be that Johan might actually sort out the set piece for Fiji a little bit.
And honestly,
for Wales, to be honest, when he first joined.
That was all I meant.
He's a forwards coach in and out.
Exactly.
Right. And also, like, for all of his shortcomings, and when you compare like Wales in terms of a rugby nation with Fiji for women, Fiji has had way shorter time to get up to speed. There are a few different things that could maybe suit his skill set better. But I will say this also, just in terms of what Fiji was able to do. I will also commend Fiji more often than not whenever they show up, even though they don't get a lot of time preparing together. They are often physically prepared. which really helps at the World Cup, because some other teams we're going to talk about, I feel like mostly it was their physical training that failed them, especially teams that are coming up.
Yeah. I think with Fiji, one thing that kind of comes up, and it's the same with Samoa actually, is that a lot of people are saying like, oh, well, the team just doesn't have that many caps. They're a really inexperienced team.
Yep.
Fiji, before the last World Cup, which was their first ever World Cup, had played, it was either 10 or 12 test matches, 15 test matches. They have not played that many more in the last 3 years, although they've had regular game time. It's not that many more. So the fact that you've got some players who have got 15 caps, that means they've probably played like at least 50%
All of it.
Yeah. It's really not. Yeah.
We will, I will caveat, many of the Fijiana do play in the 2 nearby professional leagues, or they play Pro Sevens in Japan. It's great that they have those nearby. Like, that's just a benefit of being in Oceania. But in terms of, I was trying to find ways to, or trying to find explanations for what may have made them look better than you would expect. That's all I could think of. I don't think it's young. Maybe
just God-given talent, I think.
Yeah. Also, a lot of them. No, there is something to be said that a lot of them have a rugby ball in their hand by the time they're 3.
Yeah,
they just have a natural. It's just so natural.
Yeah. So if we move on to the game that we hyped up as being the decider, this was going to be the best game of the weekend. This was going to be like the one that could be an upset. France versus Italy, the most surprising score of the weekend, in my opinion.
Yeah.
24-0.
Surprising in what way?
One, Italy didn't score.
Was nilled.
Yeah. And two, I genuinely thought the game was going to be like 15-13.
Oh, okay.
I thought it was, or it would be like Italy, like they scored the same amount of tries, but Italy missed the conversions or something. Like,
yeah.
That's how I thought the game would go.
The way that Italy and Wales goes in 6 nations every year.
Yeah, because the thing is, that's often like.
Well, not last year.
Well, if you look back at like Italy and French matches, that's not a weird thing for me to say. Like, yes, there have been times where France have absolutely blown out Italy.
No, that's super.
But those matches are usually quite close, and usually Italy don't let France get a bonus point, which France did not. France were the only winning team this weekend who did not get a try bonus point.
I feel like it didn't surprise me that much, though, in a way. I don't know. Like, you're right. Nilling, I think, is a surprise.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like it was 24-0. I don't know. I feel like it wasn't 24-0, though, in my head. Like, it just felt like, I don't know. Italy just defended really well.
Mm.
And they did compete really well, I think.
So did that...
Have we lost Julia? Oh, no, she's
But was there defensive... Oh. But was there defensive frustration there? Because we do feel that they defended well, but
I don't.
The scoreline does not say that they defended well.
I know what you mean, but it could have been. I mean, France should have scored a few more.
Much higher. Okay.
Yes,
that was right.
So I mean, there was one bit when they literally went over the line, and then it was caught, like when they kicked it up, and do you know what I mean? It was one of those okay, probably 9 times out of 10 France would have scored them, but it was just one of those days where it went Italy's way.
It was such a weird game. I honestly
quite liked it.
Yeah, because
it did not feel regularly paced for these two together.
No, if you look at like the half-time score, the half-time score was 10-0, which was one converted try and a penalty. And the thing is, it took half an hour for France to get that first try, and then the penalty was towards the end of the half. So Italy held them out for a really long time.
Yeah.
And then they got 2 tries in the second half. You would, and it's the scoreline does not reflect the match at all when you look at what happened.
Exactly.
It was just a very bizarre game, and part of me thinks, like, did Italy concentrate so much on defense that they kind of forgot to attack, which would be the most Italy thing to do?
I think that's exactly what happened.
Not having one of your main attacking playmakers Also,
Yeah.
I don't want to fall into the trap, and I fully admit, and so just for transparency, I am one of the people who often falls into the trap. I being talking about France, I would have done it with Pauline Bourdon-Sessu. I don't want to fall into the trap of talking about one player being the make or break, because first of all, it never is. Second of all, it is insulting to the rest. But in the case of Rigoni, she is often a play dictator, and in a good way. She is often one who runs the pace.
She's an absolute chaos queen.
Right.
But
and
they
I don't
needed
feel
a
like
bit
there
of
was
chaos.
Right. That was exactly where I was going to say. I just don't feel like there wasn't, like, even once in a while, a little kick in the ass, which you usually see with Italy, at least in a second half.
Yeah, the really strange thing is when you look at Zebra Man, who does, by the way, have an actual name, but I can't be bothered to learn it. He's just Zebra Man to me.
I know. I want to keep saying Valentino. I want to say Valentino, but I feel like that's just racist to Italians to guess.
We apologise to all of our Italian listeners.
Scusi.
Not
now
the
I
hand
apologize
action.
Again. Not the hand action.
Oh gosh.
This is the
Don't
second.
This
is the second week in a row we've offended the Italians.
We're constantly getting cancelled in Italy.
I love Italy. Don't cancel us. I want to go back.
Please don't cancel us. We all want to go on vacation in your country.
I love Italy.
Yeah. Zebra Man, who has a name. But you all know who I'm talking about when I say Zebra Man, so carry on. When he was the coach for Zebra, his entire thing was like, we're going to concede all these tries. So why don't we just concentrate on attack? Yeah. So you'd think.
I see where you're going with this.
So why was there no attack and all defense? It just didn't make any sense.
No. Yeah. I do think it was that they were so focused on
not
defense.
Conceding that. Yeah. Which
I would say, and I hate to go back right to Pauline Bourdon-Sessu when I said I wouldn't, but no. But knowing, if you're going into a game, and Italy was going into a game knowing, if you're going into a game knowing that she's not going to be there, I don't know why you would be so heavy on defense.
You know that they.
I don't know what it is about France's performance up till now.
Yeah.
Oh, I was going to say, like, if you know that their out and out best player is not there, right?
Yes.
Unless we're talking about the rankings that World Rugby gave for the fantasy game, in which case Chambon is apparently the best scrum half in the world.
I will not talk about this again.
and I have a friend out there who would love it if I said it, but also Batonchi, best scrum half.
But it was just a weird choice. Having said all of that, my favourite part of the entire game was the Grise try.
I was going to say everybody's favorite part.
Everybody's
favorite part, especially editor of the pod, Hugh. That is for you, my friend. Grise had a game.
She played well against England in the warm-ups. She's really something.
I love how little
has scarred me for life.
She gives. She gives so few fucks, and it's so much fun to watch.
She scarred me for life when she scored that interception try against Wales a few years ago.
Yeah, we don't talk about that.
But the problem is, every time I see her face, I get like a PTSD flashback to that moment. She started making that run, and she runs in such a beautiful manner.
That's that sevens juice.
I'm like,
translates really well.
I've got so much PTSD from watching Wales. I'm I
was gonna say, is that the one Wales thing that has given you PTSD?
I've got way more PTSD than that.
I did mention it earlier, but just looking at Johan does that to me as well. Every time the camera panned him during the Canada Fiji game, I was like, oh.
Very excited. I'm very excited for
this weekend. Excited.
Oh, I'm going to be in the same place as him, aren't I?
Because you're going to have to be looking at him. You're just going to have to.
Wait, are you going to Manchester this weekend, Sean?
Oh, no, I'm going to Wales, Fiji.
That was exactly what I was thinking.
That's next weekend.
Yeah.
Is that not this? That's
not this weekend. I'm going to be in the same place as him twice.
You've been in the same place as him
this weekend. I've been in quite a few, Thinking about it,
yeah. Just evil. It's just bad vibes. Do you know what I mean?
It gives us a really bad feeling.
It just... Not good juju. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bad cursed vibes. So now that we've alienated our own Welsh listeners,
Should we move on to the goat? And by the goat, I obviously mean Laura Delgado.
Amalia Argudo. Oh, yours too.
I love it.
So New Zealand versus Spain, 54-8 up in York. Bit of a surprising score, I would say. And
This
also,
was one of the more surprising scorelines.
officially, it is 54-8. I propose that we start a petition so that it's actually 54-10.
Yeah, what was that about?
Like,
The clock, like, I swear the clocks are wrong in this. It happened with Kira Bevan. Like, hers was well off the thing. I think she missed it, but like, the kick, but.
I was under the impression so I don't know actually, and we actually know somebody that I can ask, so I might do that after this. I should have done it before. I was under the impression by her body language and what I was reading off of her lips that she couldn't see it, because she looked at the ref and she did this and she looked around and she was like, "What clock?"
this is.
Aren't they supposed to tell them though as well? Like,
Aren't
I
they
thought the referees
supposed to
were
tell
actually
them?
supposed to.
And
yeah.
so you're right. And I watched all the coin flips, and I don't remember. I'm trying to remember which face I saw saying it. I think it might have been Amy Barrett Theron. So whatever one she had, she even told them both where to look. She said, "Your screen will be," and then she like pointed somewhere.
Right, so I have two things. Number one, having been at two different stadiums this weekend, I can say quite categorically that the Premiership stadiums, of which this York is not one, but the stadiums in England that are not used to hosting international rugby have horrendous screen placement.
That is what I've heard across the board from PWR loyalists.
Like, so Sale was bad. Like, Sale was awful. Northampton was not as bad. But
how are you playing?
That's poor for the World Cup. That is poor for the World Cup, I think.
But York is where the England-Italy game was from the Six Nations, where, do you remember, Precious had to keep running up and down the pitch, and we all kept joking, being like, "This is ridiculous." And afterwards, they were like, "Oh no, don't worry, there'll be more screens for the World Cup." There wasn't.
Oh my God. I mean, it didn't connect to me that was the match, but they literally said right after, they were like, "Don't worry about it, there'll be more."
No.
That's so poor. Like, they have a bad screen at Ystrad Mynach, but that's literally Ystrad Mynach.
Yeah. Also, where there's
a place where there's
world,
they have no money.
People.
Exactly.
They also aren't expecting a record crowd.
A record crowd would be like 50. Do they have enough Bovril for that?
In Ystrad Mynach, they have one stand, and they put the screen on the side of the stand.
The four Welsh listeners we have left that aren't related to one of the two of you.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of related, do we bring up the fun story, the thing we learned this week?
No, we can do it in the middle before we actually. Why don't we bring it up during Scotland Wales?
Okay, good idea.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
It's such a good.
Sorry, we should go back to New Zealand, Spain.
New Zealand,
especially because Big P-Dub
dubbed.
P-Dub,
who was on the bench, came on
dubbing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh my God, on the bench, and then still equaled her record for most tries in New Zealand.
Whilst on the bench, she'd actually come on.
She'd actually come on the pitch to do it, but
yeah, she did.
She equaled. Is it Doug Howlett, the All Black?
Doug Howlett.
That's who it is. Yes. Thank
you. So she was already the record try scorer for the Black Ferns. Duh. But with that one try, she equaled the record. So next time she scores, that's it.
I'm stoked.
Yeah,
I'm stoked.
And the mad thing is that obviously she has spent so much of her life playing sevens, and New Zealand would go years without playing. So the fact that she has got that many tries is bonkers.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of those tries come from years in which the only 15 she played was the World Cup.
Yeah.
It's mad. That is wild.
Because doesn't she have
I mean, they have got a very successful World Cup record, though, haven't they? It's not like
I was going to say that, and also she's not that young. She's been playing rugby a long time.
Yeah. Although she missed the 2014 World Cup because she had a broken leg.
Oh, yeah.
So she only played 17 and 21, 22, and now 25.
It's even more impressive, though, to be honest, isn't it? Really?
Better.
Yeah, it's insane.
Just
So
mad.
we touched on it earlier with the scoreline. Why do we think that? Because the halftime score, what was it, like 21?
Yeah.
Like
So
it just felt like, was it 21? I can't remember if they'd scored. If,
Three.
21-3.
three, that's it.
Because
Like that
because
felt
they had
weird
the
to me.
kick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I was expecting New Zealand to be quite a lot more ahead of that by
Yeah. And the
halftime.
strange thing is, a lot
That
of
was the prevailing narrative.
yeah, a lot of kind of pro Black Fern media has been like, well, we went down to 13 due to
In the
injuries,
second
blah, blah, blah.
half.
But that was well into the second half. They only played with 13 for like 15 minutes. And
I mean, that is wild, but
I'm
yeah.
pretty sure part of
It's
that,
weird that it happened.
Spain were down to 14 anyway because of a yellow card. I could be wrong there. So
Yes.
yeah, I thought so. A lot's happened since then. So it was just, it's like, well, no, you scored the majority of your tries when you had less people.
Yeah, I don't know. They still won 54-8 and everything, but I don't know. They just didn't.
When you've got the number 3 best side in the world versus the like 12th, you'd
But
expect.
they play like they're really good, but I don't know. I think I was just I don't know if it was I don't know if it was my expectations, but it just feels a little
Everybody
bit
was
like you're expecting another few more
a
scores than that.
blowout.
Yeah.
so okay. So the New
Or are
Zealand
we?
Spain match. No, I'll say this: the media was saying. I mean, not a large part of the media, but I did hear it from a few pundits. Maybe some who don't know ball that well, but I did hear from a few pundits that said that they thought that it was going to be triple digits.
Well, yeah, because that's what
I heard
England
that.
did to Spain,
Right.
literally weeks ago.
Yeah. And I don't know if
Arguably,
it was Spain being massively underestimated and they didn't, really. I mean,
think
they did
this
show
time
up, didn't they?
they did.
I
But
think
they
this
but they
time
did show
were.
up. They did show up, didn't they? It wasn't like they were
Yep.
just turning up
I
to
would
lie
say
down.
the England-Spain game, the Spain team was a bit weaker
Yes.
than this team.
Yes, I think
They
that's
were
fair.
kind of
They were
trying things
missing.
out, and
Yeah.
They were missing Bimba.
yeah, they're missing Bibba.
Yeah.
Which, to be fair, she probably stopped about 8 tries on her own. So, my queen.
I mean, and only because we talk about it with other teams, it is absolutely true for Spain as well that certain personalities really ignite a team, and she's one of them.
Yeah, and for Bimba, it's not just like her playing ability; it's her leadership.
It's her
Yes.
presence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which they really, really need because it's such a young team.
Yeah.
Yeah, which by the way, we should also say on the tail end of talking about this drubbing is still a good sign because ideally the world will keep going and we will get another World Cup after this one. And the prospects for Spain, if we're looking at the trajectory that we're looking at, is pretty good.
Yeah. Like if Wales played New Zealand, it would, and we lost 54-8, I would be pleasantly
Great.
yeah.
Yeah.
At this
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
No, I think that's fair.
Either Wales side, actually, men's or women's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would expect New Zealand to go up again. Like, I think they've got so many gears. I don't know how much you can take into this game, basically. I don't know how much you can read into it.
Yeah.
I have appreciated that everybody has kind of seemed to agree about that this is not, first of all, definitely not a death knell for Spain. And second of all, really reflected more on the Black Ferns than it did anyone else, because just in terms of their own performances, this was kind of good.
Yeah.
But we could also tell from the bench that this is not what they plan to do across the board.
Exactly. Like they've just got loads of tricks up their sleeve, and and they still have some really good performers. Like Jojo Miller's just freaking awesome. I think it's because I just love flankers, but yeah, she's just
she was unreal.
Yeah,
really fantastic.
Yeah, and I'm gonna give a shout out to Caitlin Vahakolo, who didn't play this week, but she didn't play. 2, her reaction and her like support of the team, even though she wasn't playing, on social media was
love her.
I absolutely adore her, and her dad is now in the UK to come watch her for the rest of the campaign, and it is the cutest thing. Because she posted,
it really is.
She posted earlier on day of recording, that it was her mum and dad's anniversary, so she took her dad out for lunch.
Oh, that's lovely.
It's very sweet.
She does seem lovely.
Yeah, so good. So now we've covered
who else we got.
The big 4 we're over and done with. So we move on to the people we're not expecting to win the World Cup.
Pretty
So we're
much.
going to speed run through them. So Australia versus Samoa, 73-0. It was
Oh,
painful to watch. I was there. It was
It's
painful.
it's really not what you wanted to see. It
no.
honestly wasn't what I expected either. You know, this was one where I would at least expect there to be a 73-8.
It
Yeah.
it was awful. And the thing was is that in the stadium, everybody was cheering on Samoa. The Samoan
The vibes were
players,
excellent.
the vibes were outstanding. The players themselves were like, the subs were like dancing along the touchline, trying to get people like hyped and stuff. Like, it was amazing. However, although they managed to get to the edges, they'd make a run. The problem came was that like they'd get there would be a tackle, and then they wouldn't know what to do next.
Yeah.
It felt really elementary, just kind of like stuff you need to, and of course this speaks so heavily to the prep that they have. We talked about Fiji already.
Exactly.
Like, Fiji has a lot of prep compared to some.
Yeah. 100%.
It's just
Yeah.
true.
And obviously, I said it in if you go on the rap TikTok, I did a little video from the game, but I said at the time like they were missing Cassie Saitonga so bad
Mm.
Yeah.
because they just don't have that vision and that experience otherwise.
This is
Yeah.
again a lack of somebody who is reliably making plays when that person is missing from a squad full of people who don't have that foresight. Things can just completely fall apart.
And again, like, you're looking at a squad of professionals versus a squad of amateurs. You could just tell in terms
Yeah.
of like fitness, muscle definition, like it was just, you could just see it. So it absolutely sucks that they didn't get a single score in. But it was also
I think you're right. I think they had ball. Like there are a couple of chances. I think Hugh said in our chat, it was just like they kind of have a bit of potential there. You can see it, but they just can't finish anything.
no, they just couldn't. And their wingers, like, going up against Australia, who have such powerful wingers, like, although their wingers are
Yes.
small, they're
Yeah.
powerful.
Yeah, they are.
And although they were like just as quick, like, to be honest, like their wingers to me were just as quick as Desiree Miller, but they were just bean poles, so they just couldn't like run through contact. Like,
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't help these kinds of recaps or like brief conversations that much, but when you dive down into it, like we need listeners, especially listeners who are new to women's rugby, to understand that the length or like the distance between some of these teams is one that perhaps men's fans like cannot fathom. Like, it's not just that like we have bad players or like this country is small so it doesn't have a lot of money. There are some teams where it's just like you can have all the want and will in the world. There are too many stats for you, and I don't know enough about Samoa, which is one of the many things we don't know that much about them, to say that much about it. But we know for sure most of the infrastructure is lacking.
yeah. But just to note on that, whilst I was in Salford, there was like some men behind me who'd clearly never been to a women's game before, and one of them was like, "Love that," and they were like, glad they went. Don't get me wrong. Maybe do some prep work before you go.
I was just gonna say, be a little humble.
And
as long as they weren't slagging off the players, which has happened to me on many occasions when I've been at women's matches.
Well,
very.
The guy behind
that's
me
for a different
turned
podcast.
to his friend and was like, I was like, oh, do you know how much like the pay difference is between these two teams, talking about Australia and Samoa? And the guy was like,
there's pay in Samoa.
And the guy was like, oh, I don't know how much they get paid, mate. And then the other guy just went, well, surely they get paid. It's like, you do. Samoa had to pay to play to be there,
which is what they were doing in 1991.
Yeah.
Like,
come on,
which really, which
like men's players weren't paying to play in
1991.
in 1960. So yeah, it is just wild, like the disconnect a lot of people have with not realizing like the gap between England and everybody else is massive. The gap between the top nations and other people that you're seeing at this World Cup is infinite.
People think that they're all literally all women rugby players are on like 100,000 a year.
Yeah.
And they're barely
Several-
getting minimum wage.
Yeah.
Yes.
And not only that, most of them outside of, and not even outside of the big four, because one of the big fours is almost completely unprofessional. Most of them are also working.
Yes.
And I don't know what, I'm sorry, it is
Effectively,
usually men. I
Even
don't
the
fight with
teams
a lot
that
of,
have
if you ask me, women's rugby is semi-professional.
Yeah, because every team, like you look at England and like they're a professional side. Emma Singh's not on the list of contracted players.
no.
Wales has
several fringe
uncontracted
players.
players in their squad.
Yes.
Ireland
Canada doesn't have
uncontracted
Canada doesn't
players
have
in their squad.
contracts.
Blows my mind how good Canada are.
Right. And so I saw a conversation about this that really made me mad, and we definitely don't have time to go into it. But I was seeing people using Canada as a cudgel to justify why teams like Wales women, because we're about to talk about why, but because of poor success, they should get their funding stripped them. And because look at Canada, look at what they can do with no money. Well, I know you don't know shit about anything, because you would know that all of the Canada players have been hustling, first of all. Second of all, they had to raise money like they're a high school band. And third of all, they're all miserable. I mean, they're not miserable. They're happy. They love to play. But it's for social
hard.
media.
They also have
hard.
like
Most of them
half
also
the
have
squad are
generational
sevens
wealth.
players. Like
Yep,
half
and-
the Canadian squad are sevens players. They have pro contracts that played through the Olympics. The other
Also-
half, generational wealth, working their butts off, working for the team sponsor. Like, anyway.
And again, and on top of all of this, all of those things that we just listed is still not bringing most of them even, let alone like saving. So all of what they're going to need after playing professional rugby, because I don't know if you guys have heard, but like after rugby, things tend to happen to your body like forever. And they're not going to have, and especially when we talk about well, not Canada, but I think about USA, I think about us all the time, and like sure hope you have health insurance, but because you're not gonna have savings.
Yeah.
Speaking of other good news,
Other terrible things that happened this weekend: Wales versus Scotland.
We not talk about this. No.
I mean, we have to acknowledge that it happened. We don't have to say much else.
I mean, for reference, I sent a video to the group chat of me looking incredibly
Having a bad
depressed.
time.
Just looking incredibly depressed whilst a bunch of Scotland supporters were around me singing Flower of Scotland, as I just increasingly wanted to lose the will to live.
Yeah, that's how I was.
Wanted.
That's what I was like in the Island game at Rodney Parade last Six Nations. I genuinely, this was actually the most surprising match for me. Not that we
This
lost,
was flat.
but it was
how
the
bad it
manner.
was.
Yeah, it was the manner of the loss. Like I actually thought that Scotland was going to beat us, to be honest, beat Wales, but
Yeah,
I thought
did
that it would
think
be
that.
fairly close. I didn't think it was going to be this bad. I didn't think Wales were going to be so shapeless. And
I have in my notes that I don't have anything that I can say. Well, one thing that I did like was I don't have one. There wasn't. No, I mean, but usually I do, even for games that, look really bad on
I
the
think-
scorecards. It's just
yes,
that, like,
no, I agree. I normally have some, like under Lynn,
Yeah.
Uncle Sean. There's been some positives I've been able to take about from these games and these quite big losses, like against England, etc. This game, I feel like we've gone backwards again.
Yes, and I don't feel bad saying that, because it's also what Sean said. Sean
Yes,
said when
was
BBC asked him,
yeah.
they said, like, do you have any positives to take from this? And he like waited for a moment and he was like, no.
Yeah.
He's right.
I just don't understand. We had against Australia in the first test, we actually had a shape for the first time since, like, our backs had a shape in attack for the first time since Snowy had retired. All of that had gone. We'd gone back to sort of, yeah, Yoan ball. It was bizarre. It was really strange. And we looked like we had no confidence. And all of the talk in the pre-match build-up was all about, oh, we've got so much more confidence now. We've got, we've prepared really well. It didn't look
I
like
really
it.
wish
the only
I
players
really wish
on that
they'd
pitch.
stop saying that, by the way.
The only players on that pitch that had confidence were Alcal, Kate
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Maisie Davis, and Nell.
Yes.
That was
Yes.
it. And
after the match, the only player that I can point to that I think performed well was Mel. So
Nell was incredible. She made
Partly.
she made a lovely run.
Oh, that
Made
was
this
one of the
huge
very.
break.
I was gonna say you would also hope that there'd be
support.
more than one of those.
There like literally no one.
But I mean, it was like practice
We should've
pitch
scored.
rugby. It was practice pitch rugby that if you were watching your tape later, they'd be like, "Oh, well, so that's a work on."
And like, I remember watching the best line out of the entire game led to a try that was chalked off due to obstruction in the line out, which was just
Did we
before
actually
half
score?
time.
I don't think we actually scored. I think we
don't know,
just
it
got
was
penalised. But yeah, it was we had a penalty.
I don't remember a chalked off try.
No, we had a penalty in their
I think
corner.
it was like she was going to go dot the ball down, and then the ref blew for obstruction before she got the ball down.
Well, that happened against Scotland last year, didn't it? In the Six Nations.
It was just
It's mad. I just it is really frustrating. And then when we didn't score before half time, I was like, yeah, this is really dead.
Yeah, I watched that and I was like, this is it. That's the game.
But also, like,
for Scotland, to be fair to
has-
Scotland, they were really up for it.
Yeah, absolutely. But also, I'm sorry, the only thing I could think about, especially in that second half, is like, have you determined that what everybody says about you is just true? That you don't have a second half in you? That's bad.
But then a couple of years ago, we didn't have a first half and we only played in the second.
But Wales did it against Australia in the first test.
Yeah, and now I
They
wonder
can
how.
do it.
There are
They can
certain
do it.
there are certain players that are just they're good players. They're either not ready or they're past it or they don't work in the system.
Well,
And
that'll happen. And you, as a coach,
You've
I
just
think
gotta
that that's
cut
what
people
I
off.
think that that's what Sean Lynn meant on Monday or yesterday when he was. We're recording on Tuesday. But he did say that, and I wondered what he meant. And then as I thought about it more, I was like, I don't know what you do. I don't know what you do when you're already midstream of a World Cup. I don't think you can change out your player pool.
No, you can only send people out if they're like
No, you
have to
can't.
withdraw.
Yeah. So I agree you have to have some hard talks, but I think there are genuinely some people who should not be starting anymore. Or or who should perhaps not even make the 23. I don't know. That said, I mean, we do need to that was a Doomfest. We are all coming from having also on the side be Wales fans. I would like to briefly mention, obviously, Franny McGee, fantastic game. Good for you. I'm thrilled that you're getting
Happy for you. Good for you. So happy for you.
So happy.
No,
I loved it.
No, fair play to Scotland though. When you think we talked about it in the build-up pod about how they have really gone through a lot of shit lately, and fair play to them. I wonder if that was actually something we talked about. It maybe it would affect their game. I think it inspired them. I think they went out and it was we're going to prove these people wrong. I genuinely think.
Or I think, well, this is very Scotland. This is very this Scotland side, but the Scotland side, they talk about it all the time about how they are incredibly close. They're also, even though it's all like being bound through tragedy, they are very bound through tragedy. Was is back, which I know is a huge point of buoyancy.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to have a captain. Everybody wants to perform for. They feel that they are supported, and yes, they have some issues right now that, for example, we saw Wales go through. But I am sorry. I'm just going to be brutally honest. Thankfully, I'm not actually Welsh. I think that Scotland is weathering it better than Wales did comparatively.
And I think
they rally around each other better. I feel like they're tighter.
A lot of it comes down to Captain Dr. Rachel Malcolm.
Absolutely, but I think about
100%. And the other leaders in that squad as well.
I was going to say, I think about Was, I think about Jade, I think about Rona, and like
Bonner,
definitely. Like those are all people, and by the way, that's a varied group of positions as well, that I think every young person has one of those that they are probably going to, and that they are feeling supported by, even when you feel like your union isn't behind you. Also, I feel like even though SRU is bad,
they've got leaders in the backs as well. Like someone like Rolly is like,
there's trust in the leaders.
Yes. I think the interesting thing about the Scotland squad is that there doesn't seem to be a generational divide in their squad. So
it doesn't feel cliquey, which I do feel like several teams do.
Yeah, like
flaky. It doesn't feel flaky.
Flaky. It doesn't feel flaky.
so like for example, sometimes with Wales, it's like you can see the younger players congregate around each other. This like older players congregate, like it happens in almost
Yeah,
every
a little
squad.
bit. Yeah.
Whereas Scotland doesn't have that. Like two of the
No.
best friends in that entire squad are from completely different age groups. Like,
Yeah, I like that.
yeah,
I think that it harkens back to that was why I said what I said, is because I do feel like they make a conscientious effort to include everybody, which I really can't stress enough, having played on several women's rugby teams myself with varying different social setups. It really doesn't. And this can even, and of course, casual fans, and if you're not following everybody rabidly and talking to players or families of players, it might not be so apparent, but like, we would all love it to be true that everybody is friends and everybody feels great, but like that's not the case. Like some people are mean. Like some people raise up to leadership and are kind of dicks. Like all of this happens. It's groups of people. They're just humans. But I feel like of all teams, and I say this independent of the performance against Wales, Scotland over the past 2 or 3 years has felt something is special on that squad. They have something special. I don't think they're going to have it forever. I don't think it's Scotland. I think it's this group of people.
Yeah.
And they're capitalizing on it. Good. That's what you want to see.
Yeah.
Other things we want to see.
Yeah. Oh, should we talk about
I don't know where I was.
We said we'd come back to it at the Wales.
Oh, right. Okay. We do have a quick story for you guys, especially if you like Wales.
If you like Wales and you like our off-topic stories, this is an excellent one, I fear.
This is Podlore. Tag it. Podlore.
Podlore. So me and Sian, for the year we've known each other.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I think when we first met online, it was like, do we have any connections? No, we don't. Weird, because Sian's from Cardiff. My dad was born in Cardiff. We don't know each other.
And Cardiff is a small place.
Cardiff's a small place. And also me and Sian both have Irish ancestry within our Wales sides. So the fact that we didn't have a connection was weird, I think.
Agreed.
Anyway.
Until.
So I went out with my nan for her birthday on Friday. And we were having a nice little chat, and she was like, oh, so what are you doing tomorrow? And I was like, oh, I'm going up to Manchester for the World Cup. She was like, who are you seeing? I'm seeing Wales. She was like, oh, what jersey are you wearing? Because I was wearing a Wales jersey at the time. And I was like, oh no, I'm going to wear my t-shirt that I've made. And she was like, oh really? I was like, yeah. And she was like, do you have a photo? I was like, well, I have a photo of my friend Sian wearing it, because she went to go see the players at the Arms Park for the send-off. And she was like, oh, okay. So I showed her the photo. I was like, oh yeah, that's Alex Callender, one of the captains. And I was like, oh right, okay. And then I said the fact that I think everyone brings up when they talk about Sian is who her uncle is, or who our great uncle was. Which, Sian, do you want to do the big reveal on the pod?
Who's your uncle?
So, my great uncle was Blevin Williams. So if you don't know, he captained Wales and Cardiff, and he is the last person to captain Wales to victory against the All Blacks.
Yes, which is a very cool fact. So I said that to my nan. I was like, oh yeah, this is who Sian's great uncle is. And my nan all of a sudden went, your Auntie Peggy went out with him. I was like,
you were like, there it is. There it is.
Like, yeah,
the connection.
Yeah, she was like, my sister Peggy, you remember her? I was like, yes, she literally lived with us for a while. I do in fact know who Peggy is. She was like, yeah, they went out before she got married to Harold. I was like,
love it.
What? So obviously,
I hope Harold was a very good dude, because you could have had a worldie in the family, but
you could, yeah, I know.
No, me and Sian could have been related.
That's so fucking Welsh.
It then really ensued funny. the Welshest conversation we've ever had in our group chat. It was just glorious.
It was so funny. It was glorious.
Yeah, I was gonna say that the several Scots in our group loved it. They were like, yeah, so we don't have incest here, so I don't know what you guys did.
Julia's reaction was, I love Wales, I wish it was real.
I love Wales, I wish it was real. It sounds so, I mean, it's mostly folklore. But from what I've heard.
Yeah. It's just, and then Sian was like, oh, did she live in Taff's Well? I was like, yeah.
Yeah, he's from Caswell, yeah.
That's when it gets really Welsh.
Yeah.
Yeah, my nan sat there like eating her fish and chips in she was
Oh my
wearing
God,
leopard.
you're making it worse.
I'd like
Wearing-
to point out my nan was wearing leopard print.
And so are you.
I was not on that day. Unusual.
Unusual.
And my nan also has bright pink hair. So for the
Amazing.
full image, we're in a pub next to a guy who's telling his friends about his trip to Australia to go see the lions. And my nan is sat there eating her fish and chips in leopard print with her pink hair, giving
Talking about
me
who your brain
random
had, you switched it up.
information that apparently I needed to hand over to Sian that I didn't because my nan was just rambling.
Oh my God, it was
Speaking
amazing.
of rambling, Ireland versus
Speaking of
Japan.
Ireland versus Japan, 42-14. My highlight of the game, as somebody who was there,
more lore.
was a Japanese fan who was wearing a kimono. She was also Japanese, I should point
Okay,
out. It
I was
wasn't
gonna
just a
say
white person.
I hate to sound insensitive, but was she Japanese? Okay,
No,
good.
yeah. And she was eating a pie and mash with mushy peas in her
Brilliant.
kimono.
Brilliant.
That was
called
my favourite part of
It's
it's my
culture.
second favourite part of the day after meeting Holly Davidson, which happened later.
All of which that you just listed by rugby values.
Hashtag rugby values. Yeah.
Hashtag rugby values.
I did put it like,
Otherwise, what did you guys?
it was a weird game.
It was a weird game. I felt like,
Yeah.
I don't know, like
Another one where the pace felt weird.
yeah, and the scoreline I also don't feel quite reflected the true story. And I think had Ireland not had that interception try, I feel like it could have, I don't know. I mean, coulda, shoulda, woulda, like I don't know. It felt like Japan could have scored there and it might have been a bit different. And then I don't know, Ireland just pulled away. But yeah, I don't know, it just felt a bit weird.
And
Yeah.
not for nothing, but I have to point it out, especially because I'm one of the people on the pod who's been guilty of it the most. But for how much we tout overall the Japanese speed, both in terms of ball speed and then also player speed, we didn't see either. We also
No.
didn't see the amazing handling that we usually see.
Yeah,
all of that,
I don't
all
think-
of that really weird. I don't. But where did the jitters come from? Because they performed so well in their warm-ups.
against USA, Japan were a lot better than
Won.
this.
I think
Well,
it's
yes, but they just played
and
better.
perform. Yes,
Yeah,
it looked much tighter.
I think we will see a slightly different looking Japan side against other sides because unfortunately they would a lot of the good things that Japan have, which is their speed of ball, which is their very quick forwards. I personally don't necessarily think that they've got super speedy backs. I think they've got speedy forwards, and it just
which is
tempo up.
comparative, right?
But when you compare that to Ireland, who have literal Olympians in their backline and in their forwards, they are known for having not only incredible, like they have the fastest ruck in the Six Nations, I believe.
Yeah.
They have an incredibly quick defense. They just smothered them. Completely and utterly smothered them.
I think
that's why the
really
pace fell off as well.
Yeah. I think that's a fair reflection. What surprises me though is like how Japan didn't get that quick ball, but they were, what was all the rolling maul stuff?
That was weird.
Like what?
I don't mind. I love seeing an unconventional maul.
But
Me too. Wild.
I think that comes from Japan are really good at learning their opposition and changing what they're doing.
Yes.
So they were like, we can't do our fancy backs moves, but their forwards aren't that big.
Yep. Yeah. Which I think they capitalized on really well, especially considering who they're going to, because they can't use that.
And their line out is terrible. So let's.
We? Well, I guess we don't have to. It really frustrates me to have a bad line out in women's rugby.
And the thing was,
we're so much more patient in women's than we are in men's. You need to be getting this right, and I don't understand. But
the thing is that we've all watched their line out on TV and been like, "There's something wrong with it." Like,
how come that's the one set piece that your mechanics are just never on?
It just never works.
I wish I could figure it out.
And then
Is it
I
me or
saw
is
it in person and I was like,
yeah.
your timing is so unbelievably off.
the
It is
timing.
unreal. Because literally, like, they were lifting their second rows and the
Mhm.
second row was having to go backwards to catch the ball. So they're
I was-
catching the ball above
Yeah,
their
yeah.
head and they're bent.
Yeah.
I was going to say at
Timing
one
of the
point,
jump and the throw is just off.
Yeah.
And it's
at
something that
one
you don't
point I
necessarily
wondered if
catch
they
on
had fucked up
TV.
a late insert. Yeah.
Because like when you see it on TV, you're just seeing like the back of them. So you can't necessarily see like the dimensions.
I feel like the Celtic countries on the weekend did a bad line-out job.
Overall, which is really
Overall,
disappointing because
Scotland's line-out
I agree.
wasn't great. Wales was really poor.
It wasn't
Wales
the
was
worst
the
line out of the weekend. That
It
goes
wasn't
to
the worst, but
Samoa.
it wasn't good enough. Like we just didn't have any
No.
ball.
And
Yeah.
Ireland usually even if it's not like, I wouldn't call Ireland the fastest, I would call it the snappiest. I feel like they have the equation down pretty rote.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not this time.
Yeah, it's odd, isn't it? I don't know.
Could we put it down to opening match jitters for everybody, or do we think that we see deeper problems?
That honestly to me was like
To me, it felt kind of like jitters.
Personally, I felt like for Ireland, that was the most normal Ireland game I've ever seen in my life. That if I had to say this,
Which is so crazy though, because of what you saw coming against them. But in terms of
yeah,
their
like
behavior.
I was like, their backs were really fast. They got the ball out as they kind of punched up the middle a bit, and then as soon as the defense had contracted, they just went
blinding breakdowns.
Yeah.
I
agree.
It was Dan O'Brien's kicking massive
Perfect.
boot. Massive boot.
Perfect. She was perfect off the tee.
She was perfect off the tee, and also just a massive boot, like just massive.
Yeah, which and this goes back. Hopefully we have lots of new listeners as well, but for old listeners would remember our chats during the Six Nations. That was something that we were frustrated with when Dana got back from her major injury. Really beautiful to see that.
Yeah,
to see that
it
has been addressed and it has been cleared.
I think she's been working with Johnny Sexton, if I'm right.
Yeah, I think so.
I'd believe you told me. I'd believe it.
And you know what? I think that was all she needed. She just needed like not a kicking coach that has not been high level. Like she needed somebody who understood her mentality.
Yeah.
Kira Bevan talks about this all the time about why her dad is the best kicking coach, even though she's had world-class kicking coaches. It's because that's the one who knows how to coach me. And exactly. I think that partnership with Johnny just really worked.
And like you've got somebody who understands her position of having the Irish media on your back when you're not doing well.
Oh, certainly.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Who knows that better than like
that's massive,
it would either have to be Johnny Sexton or Ronan O'Gara. Like, that's who she needed.
That's actually really insightful. I didn't think of that, but that really does. And it didn't factor into the equation for me, but they've been, it's the Irish media about Irish rugby. But yeah, I forgot all about what they were saying about Dana over the Six Nations.
The one big weakness that I spotted for Ireland, especially when, they've got their big match against New Zealand, which that is coming up, was that Aoibhinn Riley at 9 was providing a very interesting platform.
What are your thoughts, Sean? What are your thoughts?
Her passing from the base of the ruck was just a bit odd. Like she would just she had a lot of time on the ball, which against Japan, who weren't exploiting it, was fine.
Yeah,
if they come
lucky
up
for them.
Yeah, if she comes up against New Zealand,
and she will,
they're gonna pants on that, especially after watching this game back.
Yep, they're really gonna target that, I think. Yeah.
So I think she could be in a bit of trouble.
Who's their other scrum half? I can't remember.
Emily Lane.
That's it.
And I think they've got Molly Scuffle McCabe as well.
Yes.
Isn't she?
Yes.
Isn't she injured? Doesn't she have she had ankle surgery recently?
Oh, really?
Maybe it's not recent. No, maybe it's not recent. Maybe I was reading an old article.
Maybe. I can't remember every single person that's at this World Cup.
I know, right?
I'm surprised, to be honest. I thought you'd be all over that.
I, funnily enough, have not memorized the
Encyclopedic
Irish.
brain.
Okay, for how much we rely on Hattie's encyclopedic knowledge of who is doing what at any given time, can we please, just for a moment, and I hate having to defend Hattie, but she's also literally doing a dissertation.
I know.
She can't, I'm really surprised she's never once said like an esoteric artist we've never fucking heard of instead of like the person she's talking about. So really,
So I was in the car the other day and I was talking to my friend Beth, and I do get names mixed up if I'm not concentrating.
I don't know how you don't more often.
And
I do all the time, but I'm old.
No,
Sean and I do
I'm
all
a
the time.
nana, come on.
this is a
It's
really
true,
good one.
but also Wales has like 4 names for men, 4 names for women.
So
But
it's close.
anyway, go on.
But we were talking about, if anyone remembers, on the Jeremy Kyle show, there was, which for our overseas listeners was a bit like Jerry Springer. Is that the American version? Yeah.
That kind of thing, yeah.
For your Julias on the pod.
Yeah. And there was an episode where somebody had pooped in a fridge, right?
Yeah, this is Jerry Springer. Go on.
Me and my friend Beth were talking about it.
Oh, you
But
remember
I
the fridge
said,
shit episode? Yeah, of course I do.
and I said, do you remember on the Jeremy Corbyn show when?
Ooh, all right.
And she was like,
Oh my God.
no, it gets better. She then goes, do you mean the guy that that was on BBC Two radio? And she meant Jeremy Vine. So,
We have a lot of Jeremys. We have a lot of Jeremys in this country, just to say.
yeah.
That's hilarious.
So-
That's like something my nan would do.
I was gonna say that.
Like-
That's
like,
So I do get things confused. This is why I have to keep rugby and art history so separate. Although they do intersect sometimes. So
that's fair. That's fair.
we will have filler episodes. For now, we have to do the one that we saved for last because we are by far the most excited to talk about.
and not just because I now think that the way to South African culture is to just yell things.
It's to just yell things at people. And it is. And by the way, Elma, I really hope you're back, Elma. But if so, please confirm that's how you make most friends when you're a South African abroad, is if you see somebody wearing a shirt you like, you go, okay. That's how you make friends.
Yeah. Or
That's what I'm going to do when I go.
Yell at Hele and she yells Bokeh back. That was a highlight for me.
Okay,
Oh my
that was
God.
so. But even you telling me the story, I was like, that would make me so happy.
It was good. It was good.
I would like
So
to have a Hele Love Fest. Please, let's go.
Yeah. So South Africa versus Brazil, 666.
Woohoo!
Woo.
Yeehaw.
This is 6-6. So it was South
Two
Africa's
very religious nations. Let's go right past that.
South Africa's first World Cup win since 2010 and Brazil's first ever World Cup game. I cannot describe how good the vibes were. In fact, it's probably the best vibes of any rugby match I've ever been to.
Everybody who went, and I have met more people and been chatting online with people, everybody was just like, I had no idea that like I'm the biggest Brazil fan ever. They're like, they go everywhere and spread joy. And I was like, yeah. Because like, and for thing, I am wearing the new Yara's jersey. I have old Yara's jerseys as well. I have been an acolyte since 2016 when I encountered them in Rio. Absolutely love them. Absolutely love the program. If you enjoyed this, you're gonna really enjoy having them at this cup.
The vibes were so good, but I went on sort of on my own. My friends were in a different section. I was sat on my own, and the like group of women next to me, we were silent throughout the first game, didn't speak to each other. Second game, vibes were so good. We started talking to each other. We've now exchanged Instagrams. We follow each other. We had a great time. Like that is how
It's
good
like-
the vibes were.
It's almost
It
like
did.
the Taylor Swift of rugby.
It was just
That's what happened to Taylor Swift concerts.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, if Taylor had a concert with another artist that has a bunch of very loyal fans, because of course Brazil is I hate to take it away from Hattie, but one of the things that I enjoyed most because I wasn't there was Hattie going, she was just like, these Brazilians, they're just in like Northampton. Like, this is not the Brazilian center of England, but they're just going nuts. And I was like, yeah,
in
and I have,
Northampton.
oh, it was Northampton.
It was
Okay, is that what I said?
It was like,
Oh, okay.
yeah. But I was like, this is just the most bizarre thing I've ever encountered.
Yeah,
And
but I
there
love
were
it
hundreds.
because
I love it.
I have so many Brazilian friends, and it's one of my favorite things about when they all get together. And I always try to make sure that I am there because, like, when 2 or more of them have gotten together, like they're going to bring a party. And if you know anything about South African rugby, that's just par for the women box. Wherever they go, first of all, if you haven't already, be sure you're following any socials that touch in any way covering the women's box, because they show you the coolest stuff. By far, I think, is the team that has the best socials in general. And it seems like, by the way, they have people doing socials for them that like
Know what they're doing?
Well, yes, but like they're sponsors.
Yeah.
Their FNB does amazing socials for them. FNB did, in my opinion, I am a sucker for that. I love the women box. Wherever they go, they sing. I love it. It's always the greatest vibes. And of course, there were several videos going around of the entry where they were singing and doing and shuffling in. And I think their sponsor had the best one. It was like super high quality. I was just like, that's cool. I mean, so I was thinking about like Wales. I was just like imagining like, oh, I don't know who's sponsoring them now, but I'm like Tata Steel. See, I don't know if I'm saying that right. How do you say it?
It's Vodafone that's sponsoring them now.
It's Vodafone now.
Oh, okay. Well, Vodafone
yeah.
is, you know what? Vodafone does do socials for them, and they're sometimes really weird.
I used to have
Honestly, think
Vodafone
about it.
broadband and I got into a fight with them, so I just can't stand Vodafone.
They put me on their socials, Vodafone, in the week
They did.
That's true. Yeah.
with the t-shirts. Yeah, I think like obviously watching on TV, you can't always get a feel of the vibes is not going to be the same as being in the stadium, but it did look like proper vibe explosion.
It was incredible.
From
There was
two
a man
awesome
running around.
joyous
the music, the
teams.
singing, the dancing.
There was
Also,
a man
Elma, if
running
you're
around
listening,
in
you
a
need to tell us
spring-
about the man in the Speedo.
There
God,
was
yeah.
a man in
Your
a
close personal friend.
well, we all got very up close and personal with him. I'm not gonna lie. He was running
Yeah.
It
around.
would be I was gonna say it would be different if he wasn't a hot man, but I have to say he was a hot man. So
He was a hot man.
okay.
He had a shirt on, so he
For a-
wasn't just
for a
in a
while.
speedo. And then he had like a FAFTA clerk South African flag speedo on.
Ooh, okay. Great. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
exactly. I was like,
and the thing,
It was, yeah.
you will see videos of him walking around, but what it really isn't capturing was the twerking.
the twerking. And you could have seen it if you are following Elma on socials. Because I did, and he was twerking.
He was really going for it. There
And
was, I have to be honest,
you know,
part of it should have been not on Instagram. It should have been on, a paid for site. If you get
yeah, I was gonna say NSFI, not safe for Instagram.
not safe for Instagram.
Or should be paid for.
Yeah.
I love it.
That said, you know what made them go crazy the most though, because we're still talking about rugby technically, because they're gonna get in our comment section and say, I came in to talk about rugby, not the vibes. Folks, we have Bomb Squad. Folks, first game out, we have Bomb Squad.
We have Bomb Squad. I would like to point out, behind me were a group of South African men. Always a terrifying.
No, I was gonna say, so that's a really horrible way to start a statement. What happened?
However, the game was going. They were so hype. They were so happy, right? They didn't know the names of any of the players. They were just there because it was South Africa. It was South Africa. It was rugby. They were there.
That's incredible vibes too, though.
Incredible vibes. They were having the best time. However, the Bomb Squad came on, and one of them went, "The women have a bomb squad?"
That was my entire heart. That was my entire
They
heart.
were in. They were there. They were ready.
That's brilliant.
Locked in.
They are now fans for
And
life.
people were just yelling Bomb
but
Squad. It was.
And I was gonna say that was
impeccable.
also, I hate to just keep reporting like what I saw on other people's socials. I really wish I had been at this game, or in England at all. But that was kind of the vibe I got, because everybody did have their phones out for Bomb Squad time, because apparently that was the time when Speedo Guy was really hyping everybody up anyway. So everybody had their phones out because he was having a lot of fun.
Because he was
and then
kind
Bomb Squad
of.
He was
It's because
saying Bomb Squad.
Bomb Squad. It's because there was like a couple of security guards that were trying to get him to put trousers on. So.
Well.
Oh my god! What party poopers?
No.
I was gonna say, what? First of all, not rugby, not rugby values.
But they did let him just run around without trousers on. But
Amazing.
they I think they were worried that he was going to jump on the pitch.
I was okay. So I was gonna say,
yeah,
is
yeah.
if I was in his situation, I'd be like, if you can stop me physically, I will put my pants on.
Because he
But
was
you're gonna
quite
have to come get me.
muscular.
I know that's. Oh well, I should also have said that. First of all, he was a high hot strong man. Second of all, he was not small. He looked like a guy like, I'm not gonna hit a South African guy who clearly
That
loves
was a
rugby.
South African. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if you've seen the men's Springboks, but
Yeah. I mean, I've seen the size of the women in real life now. Oh my god.
yeah, that was another thing that I really appreciated. It's been a lot of fun, especially for folks who were men's Springboks fans and have now crossed over to women's. I don't
Turns
remember
out
if
the
it was one of-
giant genetics cross over to both
Yeah.
men and women.
Yeah. I know that what you were hearing was not super duper pleasant in terms of the way that they were saying it, but even the English around you were like, that's
A large woman.
a large woman. That's a strong, large woman.
Mm.
And I love that because I don't know. I feel like even though people who are popular on socials are constantly talking about how rugby is for every body and like there are a bunch of different kinds of body types. I don't know why, but it hasn't really sunk into a lot of people that it's like, no,
I
there's
know.
some large people.
Yeah. Women do come above
Women
a
do.
certain size.
Yep. Yeah.
But
And
also, they're really
convention-
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really look forward to more outlets who have better access than schmucks like we do, catching on to how exciting this team is so we can learn more.
Or they give us better access.
Or you give us better
Yeah.
access because we love them and we care. So you know how to
I
find us.
love this South African team.
We love the South African team. It is so exciting. And by the way, in women's rugby, it has been a long time. And especially us, we harp on all the time about how boring it is to just talk about England and New Zealand all the time. We don't have to anymore. And we're super excited about it. Honestly, you know, especially talking to people who really know men's ball, and who do have a good outlook on women's rugby. I think of our friend Hugh, who was the first one who really put it in my mind where it was just like, if they continue like this, like in a very short period of time, it's going to be different.
If
The top four could become different.
Yeah, if they played like they did on Sunday against Italy,
I think
they will beat Italy.
Yes.
I agree.
I'm super excited to say that too.
Yeah.
I think they might leave the pool.
Yeah.
I think they will.
I mean, and I really wish I could impress upon people, especially who are coming into the game, that like this would be an absolute coup if they if they leave the pool at all. There are several teams that we like and we consider decently strong. I mean, there's a good chance either America or Australia doesn't leave the pool, which is crazy. There are teams like that in every pool, but this pool specifically,
this is, if you really think about it, the easier pool.
Right. And that was, yeah. So that was what I was kind of gonna caveat, that like also this pool is built the way it is on purpose. However, there's still a pretty wide variety of skill sets and like, I don't know, potential question marks, good or bad, in this pool. I didn't come into it thinking that there was a chance that they would win more than one game, and I do think so now.
Yeah, agreed.
I'm really excited to watch them play France.
Yeah.
And specifically, I want to see that scrum.
Yeah.
So bad.
Oh.
It's gonna be incredible. It's gonna be so much fun.
It's gonna be so good.
I wasn't really expecting the Brazilian scrum to do that well.
Yeah.
However, they just disappeared.
It's unfortunate. I mean, it's exactly what I expected, to be honest. If we think that they have played little rugby in general, that it's a much newer rugby program, 15s they've played way less.
Yeah.
They've played so few 15s games. In fact, you know, not to take away anything from them. Again, I am a huge fan, but it wasn't even really expected that they would be the South American team to get through. Everybody was thinking it'd be Colombia.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, so for them to be here is phenomenal, but also like to hold up. And really, yes, I understand that they are not one of the big four right now, but like even how they are right now, South Africa is nothing to sneeze at. That they held up as much as they did, especially against the size. Again, of their forwards compared to Brazilian forwards who look tiny.
And I'd like to put this out. They are currently, if you think about it, they scored more points than Italy did.
Yeah.
They scored more points than Samoa.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Raquel Cochen, is that how you say her name?
Raquel
Cochen?
Cochen, yeah.
Yeah.
Cochen,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm not. I love her.
World Cup
She's got
point
great
scorer.
hair. Yeah.
They scored 1 point less than both USA and Fiji.
Yeah.
2 points less than Wales, I think.
Yep. And Wales was lucky to have it. I'm just so excited. I'm so excited about the trajectory of both of these teams. I almost kind of wish
same.
this particular matchup happened later.
Yeah.
You know,
It
what
was,
can you do?
the vibes were just immaculate.
How
The music,
though?
the food, the people. Come on.
How was Hele not player of the match?
I think it's
I'm
because
really
she came off at
curious.
50 minutes.
Oh.
I don't care.
I know,
But
right?
she should have been. I think I said at half
still
time to
think
you
she
guys,
should have
like,
been.
she should have been, like,
She
if
is
she isn't.
amazing.
That if it didn't, it would be criminal. Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I
And she
just-
was completely amazing.
What I love about South Africa, I don't really understand what goes on in scrums, but I love back rows and scrum halves, and I love Ruiz, and I love
Oh my
Hele,
God.
and what an 8-9 combination.
And also,
honestly,
Phenomenal.
it just-
and Libby Janssen von Rensburg at 10.
Yes.
That's a whole 8-9-10 pivot or axis.
Oh my God, that just
It
really
worked
just
so well.
and I have to say,
And as fans of Wales and USA respectively, we really, really envy that.
and like,
oh yeah.
Dolph, I can't remember if she was playing on the wing at fullback. I feel like she was playing at fullback this week.
15.
15, yeah, she was playing fullback.
15.
Her kicking off the tee. And
Phenomenal.
and also, she was just great. They were all great.
I'm
It
really
was
excited to see what their
joyous.
backline. Yeah, I'm really excited to see what their backline does when it gets to play together a little bit more. I didn't get to do enough research into where all of them play in their domestic premiership, but the way that they play suggests to me that even if, you know, they haven't been playing a bunch of test match 15s, they are, it seems like, playing together a lot. They don't seem like strangers, and we have covered teams who played more together and look less coherent.
And the really interesting thing is, as well, is like, they didn't have, unlike a lot of other teams, this team that has gone to the World Cup is not the same team that played in the regional tournament of the year. So like,
Or Rugby Africa.
yeah, so Rugby Africa, South Africa sent a B team essentially.
Yes.
And
A few of them also,
Yeah, a few of them
seen
got
out, but
over.
they're all benchers.
yeah, but the main team did not go. So the fact that they are this put together, not having had that game time, is mad.
It is wild.
And again,
Fair play.
we've harped on it before, but within continental Africa, the opportunities right now as they stand for women's 15s are not there in the way that we would like. It does, in fairness, does look like Rugby Africa is really trying to step that up. They've got the Africa Cup now, which I think has really behooved them. But sorry, go on.
I was going to say, I actually think sending a weakened South African side helps everybody. It helps
Yes.
South Africa. It helps the other Rugby
Madagascar,
Africa sides.
Kenya, Uganda. Yep.
Because they are so far ahead. It would be like sticking England in Rugby Europe.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, or New Zealand in Oceania.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was just incredible. The stat that I thought was absolutely mental, though, was that South Africa made 55 tackles in total, and Brazil made 168.
I thought Brazil made more tackles than that. Because I was looking on there
too. I was.
I
Really
saw on
that.
their
This is off-
socials
This is off
on
their
the Brazil. Oh,
This
it
is
was,
off the official World Rugby website.
because Brazil had. I think they posted that they had more than that. So maybe they were, because they put in a post that they had like 200 odd, and then they were
I know
actually.
which one you're talking about. Let me go see.
But they
Did I
also,
make that? And then they had individual, and they had so many players hitting over 20 tackles. It was nuts.
this is off official World Rugby.
Fair play. Okay,
Don't-
maybe.
Don't at me.
No, I'm not having to go at you.
Oh no.
Comments,
No,
don't
we're-
at me.
You actually can at her. I'll go. I know exactly what
She
post
knows
you're
my
talking about, and I could have sworn it was more too.
It was on the Brazil official.
And luckily,
account.
none of the other
Which is
listeners
so
do, because
good,
it doesn't
by
make
the
any
way.
fucking.
I recommend following them because it's so good.
Right? Oh,
What is
I'm
the
trying to
quote?
remember.
Yeah, 232 tackles, it says.
Yeah, that's what I thought, but it was not Spain. Oh, it was. That's what I thought. Okay, there it is. Yes, I thought it was 232, 233, 232.
But
Was the number I had. In my head.
I don't know where they've got those stats from.
Well, World Rugby messed up their anthem, so maybe they messed up their tackle stat too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, just to tack on to the end also, like I don't know, like it's the first time. This isn't what venue. Oh no, it was in Northampton. That's one that does rugby all the time.
Yeah, but not
They
international.
should. Oh, I was like, how do you, like, I don't know. I wish they had fucked up. This was their first time at all, and then they had to sit there and
But
sing
they
it a
carried
cappella.
it.
Oh yeah, they killed it. It was awesome, and it was super like it gave great post.
Yeah, it was good. So we move on. We've finished. We're all done. We've talked about our besties, our friends of the pod, everybody else.
Hopefully all of your favorites.
And so what we thought we'd do at the end of every week is do our like 3 favorite things of the weekend. So try of the weekend, player of the weekend, and game of the weekend. So we start off with try of the weekend. What are your guys' nominations?
This is so hard.
I know.
This is so hard.
Should I
So
go
obviously,
first?
Oh, yeah,
Greasy.
yes.
So
Greasy.
my
You are
try
gonna
of the
say
weekend
Greasy,
is
okay.
Greasy. Yeah.
Okay, good. Because
But
that takes one of ours
also-
out.
Lamani's try for
Good.
Fiji.
Oh, perfect then.
Hel-
I'm gonna take
Hele's third try, which was
Julia
just
Shells?
awesome.
Do you mean Julia
Hele's
Shells?
third, and then Julia's
Oh,
then Shell's second try. So there's like
Second,
4 I can't
okay.
really like.
Yeah.
I think
Agreed.
Hele's.
Mm.
Who are you talking about?
We're talking about Hele's.
Oh, Hele. Yes.
Her
Absolutely.
her third try.
Yeah, the third was the banger. Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, great. And I really assumed I wasn't gonna get to do this one, but great. Erica Gerald Cersei, obviously.
yeah,
that was a good one.
that was a really good one. See, it's so
you
hard.
Very
It's so
rarely,
hard.
you so rarely see a 6-foot second row on the run.
Oh, she nailed it.
Do you know
Amazing.
what? I was absolutely going to go to bat for Grise's try, but
But
I have to give it, as the person that is recording the podcast. I'm going to use powers here, and I'm going to say, yeah, it's Ricky J.
yeah, Ricky J, you got it, girl.
Ricky
I'm
J gets
happy with
it.
any of those decisions, to be honest.
No,
Yeah.
no, but everyone named.
Purely.
I mean, you both named the other 2 for me.
Yeah,
Terrible tackling by England, just saying.
But
You
I
love to
think
see it.
the reason why I'm giving it to her is just second row on the run.
Yeah,
I'm
we love
sorry,
it.
It just adds points.
Baby giraffe on the run. You can't say no.
And like her hair at the weekend was like a Viking warrior princess. It was.
Did you know that she is the team braider?
That makes so much sense.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, player of the weekend. I feel, as much as I want to give it to Hele, I feel like there is an obvious answer.
I think we all have the same answer.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Julia Shell, isn't it?
It's
Shell,
Julia
yeah.
Shell.
Yeah.
It's Julia Shell. Yeah.
But
So
yeah,
she-
I would like Hella as well. But,
Shell
you know.
acolytes have been vindicated.
So
Do you know what though? Shell was one of my pick out star players of the Pack 4. I thought she was freaking awesome in the
Yes.
Pack 4.
We all said that. We all said the same thing, but also everybody else was just like, "Who even is that?" And it was like, "We can tell you don't watch BWR."
Yeah.
I feel vindicated.
She was
Yeah.
just excellent.
She's so good.
My favorite thing was like all of the Canadian players who like either weren't picked or were injured were like putting on Instagram being like savior of Canada, Canada's finest, like shouting her out.
All true.
Yeah.
And I would also like to say shout out to Julia Shell, because I just like to imagine, and this is me taking my liberty of it also partially being my podcast. We're all queer women, so we do kind of enjoy this kind of funny thing. I do enjoy that the way that the weekend would have gone was that Rachel Malcolm had her incredible win over Wales that they weren't expecting, but they were so happy to get, and they absolutely earned it. She was elated. I am pretty sure, probably knowing the 2 as much or as little as we do, it's like, oh man, I can't wait to talk to my partner. Like, I can't wait to be like, look at this amazing win. We're going to celebrate it so much. Yeah, no, I did have 6 tries.
Yeah.
I had 6 tries. Your thing was good too. Your thing
Yeah.
was good too.
Like I am really proud of you.
I beat
But-
I beat a
but I
record,
now have-
and then what I did is I beat another record.
Like I not only have the fastest
I
hat
have
trick
both
in
the
World Cup
I
history,
have both
but I
the
now have the
first and the
third.
third. I have both the first and the third fastest hat trick in World Cup history. Your thing is good too, babe.
I
Like,
scored
I'm-
more
I'm-
points than
I'm so happy.
than
By
whole
the way,
countries.
I was gonna say Julia Schell scored more points than Scotland.
Yeah. No, she didn't.
No, she didn't.
No.
Oh,
She
no,
scored
did-
30.
Yeah, 6 tries. They scored 38.
Oh, because she didn't convert her tries.
She
Yeah.
didn't convert them.
Unless we count the.
No. But she did score more points than France.
And Wales.
Just all of
And
them.
quite a few other teams, yeah.
Yeah. Moving on. Final thing. Game of the weekend. Again, I feel like it's kind of obvious.
It's
We
very
just said
obvious.
it.
We
We just said it.
Gotta
It's-
be
it's
South Africa,
South Africa
Brazil.
versus Brazil.
Has to be for the vibes.
Sensational
Absolutely.
game.
It's so much fun.
It was so much fun that we are now individually really excited for both of their next two matches when it really could have gone anyway. I was really like kind of fearful. I was like, I'm really worried that like Brazil is gonna get absolutely trounced and it's gonna like hurt their hearts, but should have known better.
They bounced back very quick. Like
The heart that team has, I think, is going to win a lot of rugby hearts and minds,
I
which
just love them.
Absolutely.
which is thrilling to me. Brazil is definitely, as a nation, is a huge sporting nation. And I really do believe that any team, and I mean, I know it because I've seen it in other sports and especially in soccer, but if you get enough traction, Brazil will get behind you. I think they're going to be a South Africa-esque kind of side where you're going to get your country on your side. And if so,
And even not your country.
yeah, I was gonna say, and if so, your fans are
people
going
in
to travel
Wales.
deep. Yep. And we know, because we were looking around socials, we know that we were by far not the only ones that were completely enamored.
Squidge put out a video today saying that Brazil have won the World Cup. So
Yeah.
Yes, which is absolutely true. And by the way, we co-sign it. How Brazil won the World Cup, even though South Africa beat them by 60.
Love it.
they are the lowest ranked. They are not going to win. They are not going to come out of the pool stage. However,
They are
have
the epitome
won.
of happy to be here.
I literally came out at like after the game and I was like, do I go to the merch stand and buy Yara's top?
I was surprised that you didn't, and I know you're going to.
You
I think you're
didn't?
seeing them again.
I think so. I can't remember. I'm definitely seeing South Africa again. I'm going to so many games.
We
Oh, I
know.
know.
I can't
just assume
actually
you're going to
remember.
all of
I
them.
I was quiet because I was trying to think because I know most of your schedule, but I also don't know all of it.
I just assume you're going to all of them. So
Yeah, which if you look at England on a map, it looks pretty small. And I know,
let's not go
I
into
know,
this.
I know. I was gonna say, just to close, I know from my many hours of chatting with Hattie while she is on trains, I know that they work so well.
I
Not
actually
going
had
to
a
this.
very easy trip to Manchester and back, to be fair, so I can't really
Hooray.
complain.
Oh, good. I thought that was one of the ones that you.
It was the
Okay.
bus ride.
Oh, it was
I've
the
had
best.
many not good train journeys from Cardiff to Manchester.
It's because it's
Really?
like
I
it's
thought that
one
was
straight
like the
train
big corridor. Yeah, I thought that it was like a really
It
easy
takes about
corridor.
1,000 hours. It
Not
stops at
Cardiff to
everybody's
Manchester.
house.
Stops.
Oh, Cardiff to Manchester does. It stops at every frigging
I was
person's
gonna ask,
house.
is it every?
Ugh.
No. Milk Keynes to Manchester has like 5 stops.
Yeah,
That's a
I'm
business.
jealous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it takes an hour 45 minutes.
Good job being in the
Oh.
Midlands.
Milk
So
Keynes is not the
jealous.
Midlands, babe.
What?
Milk Keynes is
Oh,
not
I
the
don't know where it
Midlands.
is. I think you live in the Midlands. I don't know. It's all in the middle.
It's well,
Not
so
there.
weirdly, Milk Keynes is the furthest from any part of the sea. So
Okay.
so that's where all the when you
How
had
far
all-
are you from Milton Keynes, or would you just consider that you're in Milton?
I'm like 20 minutes away.
Okay, so
Yeah.
few minutes.
So you know Bletchley Park?
Mhm.
Yeah. So the reason why the computer was at Bletchley Park was because all of
It's so
the
easy to get to.
telephone lines went to a field near Bletchley Park because it was right in the centre of the country.
It was easy for all the nerds to get to.
Yeah. And also
I
there's
love
a train
Bletchley
line.
Park.
And
I love
I
Bletchley
know
Park.
you do, Sean.
It's-
That
Sean,
shit is
I
built for you.
went
That shit
like
is
twice
made
a
for
year.
you.
Computer museum. I love the computer museum there. It's like one of my happy
I
places.
know it's a nerd museum.
It is.
The first thing if I had to say, like, guess a thing that Sean hasn't told you outright about her, I'd be like, she fucking loves Bletchley Park.
If you grew up near or around Milton Keynes, like within a 45-minute radius, you went at least once, if not twice a year on a school trip.
For school.
That's like St Fagans in Cardiff.
My nan used to
Yeah.
make me go every year when I went and
Of
visited
course she
her.
did.
Yeah.
My parents used to make us go
See-
like every week for
So,
history.
and to give it in, because I know probably not a lot of American listeners. For us, especially if you're from the East Coast, it's very different East Coast versus West Coast because of the different histories that you have. But on the East Coast, especially if you're in the Mid-Atlantic where I'm from, it was always one of a few battlefields. And you just go and everybody gets sunburnt and half the people forget their lunch. It's a miserable time. So for me, it was either Gettysburg or Jamestown and Williamsburg.
I thought you were going to say Colonial Williamsburg, and I have to be honest, I really want to go. It seems like a great time.
You would adore Colonial Williamsburg. What I really love about it, and here's a little more pod lore. My little sister went to William and Mary, which is a very prestigious university down there. But because of it, where it is, in the state of Virginia, there isn't a ton in terms of work to do. Like you could be at a restaurant or whatever. What most of them do is costume reenactment.
Oh my God, I love that.
All the reenactors are William and Mary students.
I
Oh my
really would
gosh.
love that. That's like my
Yep.
dream job.
I just
Yeah.
worked in a nightclub and a pizza van when I was at uni, but that seems like way more fun.
I was gonna say I just worked in like the worst restaurants.
And Claire's accessories, that's another bit of plot
I was
for
just gonna
everyone.
say, but you working at Claire's made you who you are. Me working in the worst restaurants in Richmond made me who I am. And Sean,
R.I.P.
I don't know which job ruined you, but it's got to be one.
Do it
Were
all.
you a retail? Were you retail or restaurant? Because usually your
all.
first jobs are
retail?
You did retail and restaurant? Oh, retail.
No, just retail.
Oh,
I've
Yeah,
never worked in a
blessings.
restaurant. I know.
What kind of retail?
Do it all. It was like a I don't think it exists anymore. It's like a DIY store.
Okay, sure, yeah.
It was
Yeah.
grim.
Folks,
I love
I
DIY.
feel like
you know so much
Like-
more about us as people.
I was gonna say, I feel like you know a lot more about us. We promised we wouldn't yap, and then precisely yapped.
We
almost
literally came up
immediately.
with timings and everything.
We did, and I would really like.
We were going.
I
well.
would. We were really going well. I want listeners who've made it this far to know we tried, and this was trial and error, and we'll do better next time.
We will
But
do
thank you
better
so
next
much.
time.
Thank you so much for sticking around. If you did, I hope we covered what you wanted to hear. Does anybody have any closing thoughts before we go? I can't imagine any of us have any more thoughts at all.
If you're going to Manchester or Northampton on Sunday, so Manchester on Saturday or Northampton on Sunday, and you see somebody with very curly hair wearing a weird t-shirt, come say hi.
And stop her and grab a sticker for
I
her
have
side
stickers.
project, which we actually haven't ever pumped before, so I will do it for you. But Hattie runs the Rugby History Project, which you may have seen articles floating around. That's Hattie. That's the one. If you're only reading in text, that's her. And she has stickers, and they rule. And eventually, I'm gonna get them here too, and people will be like, "What is that?" And I'll be like, "I have
You
a
have-
boyfriend."
You have
Yeah.
to save me one though. You can't. You have to leave
I
one left
bought
for me.
like 100, so
I was gonna say you two are seeing each other later this month.
I've
I am like
got loads.
I love stickers because
Yeah.
I'm 43-year-old.
But they work really
Now
well
you know more about
because
us than ever.
at the weekend people are like, so very quickly I ran into Lesbimum, who all of our followers are
Friend of the
middle-aged
pod.
men.
Friend of the pod now.
Hannah,
Friend of the
if
pod
you're
now.
listening. And
And by the way, she definitely listened through all of this.
yeah. So I awkwardly was sat next to her for all of the games and then didn't mention that I had a podcast because I felt awkward. And then her sister ended up telling her something. And then she came over and was like, please explain. And then I was like, hang on, here's a sticker. That's the account name. So it's like a business card, but more fun.
I like your thinking.
What I absolutely hate is that audio didn't get that wink. I'm so mad. That was a good one.
Thanks.
speaking of thanks, thank you guys so much for sticking with us. We will be back for previews pretty soon. We haven't figured that out yet, but we'll be there. Love you, Captain Kate Willie. Love to all the friends and fams of the pod. Thank you so much for sticking with us. Keep an eye out for previews. Those will be coming. Until then, enjoy your rugby.